Some people don't fear chaos. They breathe it in like oxygen. Their calmest moments happen right before everything falls apart. And if life refuses to give them turbulence, they'll stir it up themselves quietly, subtly, almost artistically. You met someone like this. They look composed on the surface. Steady hands, steady voice, but there's a flicker behind their eyes. A hunger for disruption. A comfort with unpredictability that most people find unsettling. They stand in the middle of emotional storms that would crush others, yet they barely blink. It's not because they're strong. It's because chaos feels familiar, a place where they learn to survive long before they learn to be stable. And the unsettling truth? Some people don't just endure chaos. They need it. When we talk about people who crave chaos, we're not describing villains or dramatic personalities looking for attention. We're talking about those who carry an internal restlessness, a nervous system trained to expect instability, conflict, or emotional noise. For them, peace feels foreign. Predictability feels suspicious. Stability feels like a calm ocean, hiding a monstrous wave beneath it. This behavior matters because it affects relationships, careers, and sense of self. It shapes how people react, how they love, how they argue, how they cope. Some become the quiet disruptors, making impulsive decisions at the worst possible moments. Others become emotional arsonists, lighting matches just to feel alive. And some simply drift into chaos because calm environments feel like rooms without oxygen. Psychologists often explain this through early conditioning. When your mind grows up in storms, silence becomes unbearable. Chaos becomes the baseline. Even when life finally settles down, the body waits for the next impact. And without meaning to, they go looking for it. One core reason people crave chaos is rooted in something psychologists call baseline emotional intensity. When someone grows up around volatility, unpredictable parents, unstable routines, emotional explosions, their nervous system normalizes intensity. They associate feeling alive with feeling overwhelmed. Calmness doesn't register as safety. It registers as emptiness. Imagine a child raised in a house where arguments erupted without warning. Their heartbeat learns to spike as a default. Their mind learns to anticipate danger. Their emotions adapt to survive rapid shifts. By adulthood, the body carries this rhythm, like a song stuck on repeat, and peace feels like the wrong soundtrack. These people often enter relationships with good intentions, yet unknowingly disrupt them, not because they want to hurt anyone, but because stillness feels like something is off. If things are going too well, they'll misinterpret it as the calm before a storm. So they start scanning for hidden threats or creating them. There's also a deeper, more hidden psychological layer. Chaos gives them control. In an unpredictable childhood, chaos was something that happened to them. But in adulthood, creating chaos gives them the illusion of power. If I'm the one causing the disruption, at least I'm not helpless. This is why some people pick fights when nothing is wrong. Why they sabotage opportunities right when success is within reach. Why they run toward emotional drama, even when they say they want peace. Chaos becomes familiar, almost comforting, like a toxic friend they know they should leave but never do. Another type is a silent storm chaser, the person who doesn't blow things up loudly, but moves through life with a subtle pattern of disorder. They procrastinate until pressure becomes unbearable, because the rush feels sharper than calm productivity. They make impulsive choices because routine feels suffocating. They form relationships with people who mirror the instability they've always known. In many cases, these individuals aren't fully aware of this pattern. They don't wake up thinking, "I want chaos today." Their body simply gravitates toward the emotional terrain it recognizes. It's survival muscle memory. Yet beneath all of this lies a simple truth. Chaos is not their goal. It's their comfort zone. It's the emotional climate where they learned who they had to become. Understanding why someone craves chaos isn't about judgment. It's about illumination. It reveals the quiet battles people fight between the life they want and the emotional patterns they inherited. Some are trying to unlearn storms. Others are just beginning to realize they've lived and won their whole life. And this is only one layer. Because behind the craving for chaos lies something deeper, a set of hidden motives, coping strategies, and personality structures that shape how these individuals move through the world. Now, we'll explore those inner mechanics, not to expose them, but to understand why the storm feels safer than the calm. There's another dimension to people who crave chaos, the part that isn't shaped by childhood storms, but by the quiet ache of unmet identity. Some individuals stir disorder not because they fear peace, but because chaos gives them a role to play, a sense of purpose, a feeling that they matter in a world that keeps moving without noticing them. For these people, chaos becomes a stage. The argument, the crisis, the impulsive decision. It creates a moment where they finally feel visible, not necessarily powerful, just seen. Psychologists sometimes describe this as identity activation, where a person seeks emotional intensity to feel anchored to themselves. They cling to the spike of adrenaline because it reminds them they're still here. When life feels numb, chaos becomes a spark that cuts through the silence. There's also the type who seeks chaos because it keeps others at a distance. These individuals don't want closeness. They fear the vulnerability that comes with intimacy, connection, and consistency. Chaos becomes a shield, loud enough to drown out emotional exposure. If everything is in turmoil, nobody can get close enough to see the wounds underneath. And then there are the ones who create chaos to test loyalty. It's not manipulation, it's fear. They push people away just to see who comes back. They create emotional waves to measure who's willing to swim through them. It's a survival tactic born from belief that only those who endure the storm truly care. Some chase chaos out of boredom. Not trivial boredom, existential boredom. They feel out of sync with the world, like their mind operates in a different frequency. Routine becomes unbearable. Predictability feels like a slow erosion of the self. Chaos acts as a reset, a way to feel something raw and unfiltered. Others are drawn to chaos because order threatens their sense of autonomy. When life becomes structured, they feel trapped. Rules, expectations, routines. These things squeeze them until they suffocate inside their own life. So they break something, disrupt something, destroy something, not out of rage, but out of desperation to breathe. Across all these variations, one thread stays consistent. Chaos offers something they believe calm never will: intensity, identity, protection, confirmation, or liberation. When you peel back the layers, craving chaos isn't a flaw. It's a language, a way of expressing needs that were never spoken or met. Chaos is rarely about destruction. It's often about longing, a longing for connection from someone who never learned healthy closeness, a longing for safety from someone who grew up without it, a longing for authenticity from someone who feels numb in silence, a longing for control from someone who once had none, a longing for intensity from someone who feels life slipping through their fingers unless it hits them hard. People who crave chaos often carry hearts that run on high alert. They feel deeply, sometimes too deeply. They sense shifts in energy, tone, atmosphere. Their inner world is so turbulent that the outer world feels wrong unless it matches their internal rhythm. And yet, beneath that turbulence lies a softer truth. Most of them don't want chaos forever. They want peace. They just don't know how to trust it. The storm becomes a home they never intended to build, but learned how to survive in. Calm becomes a stranger they want to approach, but don't know how to greet. And that's where growth begins. In the moment someone realizes they don't actually crave chaos, they crave what lies underneath it, meaning safety, intensity, attention, authenticity, belonging, a sense of being alive without burning everything down to feel it. Chaos isn't the enemy. It's the messenger. It reveals the places where healing has never been invited to sit down. So the real question isn't, why do some people crave chaos? The deeper question is, what do they believe chaos gives them that calm does not? Because if you really listen beneath the noise, chaos is never random. It always points to something: a story, a fear, a wound, a hunger, a memory. And once you understand that, you begin to see people differently, not as self-destructive, but as survivors trying to navigate a world with tools they built in darker chapters of their life. Maybe you saw someone you know in this. Maybe you saw yourself. Whichever it is, remember this. Awareness is the first step toward rewriting the emotional script you've been carrying. The moment you understand your own storms, you gain the power to create your own calm. If this open your eyes, change how you see people, or help you understand yourself a little deeper, consider subscribing or joining this community. We explore the parts of the human mind that most people ignore, the shadows, the contradictions, the truths that shape us quietly. And I'll leave you with one final line. The storm is not who you are. It's just where you learn to survive.